Ladies and gentlemen, how you all doing? This is Con Ulrich.
It's the Hello, hello, hello.
And folks, more Division 1 WARNO action today. We are on the map of two ways, right? Who's here, what are they bringing, and what does it mean for those viewers today?
On the left-hand side in the blue, we have tmanplays playing 5th Panzer Division, and on the right-hand side in red, we have Lathans, who runs a pretty cool Twitch stream. I'd recommend checking it out. He's playing VDV.
So 5th Panzer, as we see that MiG-29 lining up on that Apache and taking it out.
Very good kill.
What do they do?
Pretty standard Panzery stuff. All the classic German staples of Leopards, Marders, Schnitzels, all of that good stuff. So yeah, they're just pretty, like a lot of divisions right now, pretty standard for what you expect from their country.
Exactly. I mean, Leopard tanks, of course, as you know, maybe not the greatest of armor, but zippy-dippy fast, and those cannons are really quite good. But you know what? That's unimportant right now, because there wasn't a patch since our coverage of last week. So what's the TLDR in terms of that patch? What happened there, sir?
We're mainly adding the heavy machine guns and grenade launchers, but we're not really seeing them because they're not really that great, honestly, especially in 1v1s. A few price nerfs here and there, smoke launchers being added, some extra vehicles, just slowly the game's getting there. But going back to the actual initial opener of this match, we've seen Lathans push pretty hard down south and in the center as well, using that for deployment quite effectively.
Would you say he's trying to finish his opponent off pretty quickly?
I'd hope so.
Yeah,
you kind of need to VDV.
That's true. That's true. I mean, the VDV, I mean, you definitely saw in the air tab, he's going to be controlling that air without too much issue, unless, of course, those Rolands can kind of speak up. So I know you and I were talking before the cast really got started. The Roland we haven't seen a whole lot of. What should we be expecting? Is that, really great, or just sort of like...
It's just mediocre. Like, okay. It's good at shooting down aircraft.
Well, one would certainly hope so. We good at shooting down aircraft. I imagine it's one of those things, if it's like, yes, we brought this fireworks launcher. It's called the Roland, and it's got 12 missiles. So I could certainly see that happening regardless, though.
Yeah, this is actually a pretty interesting opener here so far. Lathans did try to go pretty hard for the southern town, but his Spetsnaz, I mean, they're damn good infantry, but not good enough against all his Panzer Grenadiers. And T-Man actually pushing a little bit up north. They're using his, IFV armor advantage. Yeah, I wonder if he's going to actually try to push up any further here. He could get a pretty good flank into the VDV lines if he was to move up. Because, yeah, right now, Lathans has a pretty good hold on Charlie.
He does for the moment. But one thing that's interesting to me is that for the first time, I think the stuff that we've been covering, it hasn't been an immediate command spam to actually capture territory, which is a nice change. It's a very nice change.
Definitely want those frontline units ASAP. On some maps, especially where you have +3 sectors in your home point, you definitely do want to maybe get a CV at the start. But when you only have these +2 sectors you have to capture early on, you can definitely afford to take a little bit of a points bleed.
Exactly. It's a long game. 2,000 points is a long way to go. The Spetsnaz over here, showing their value, taking out that, oh good lord, what was that, a martyr, I suppose. And indeed just kind of picking on those scouts with the help of really that descent UAZ over here. So center of the map very much going Soviet. We can see a triple cap coming out over here, so 3-2. What can tmanplays immediately do to respond with 5th Panzer?
I guess Apache rockets would be one good solution, really, especially against all the Spetsnaz. I mean, Lathans is going pretty hard using all the Special Forces troops early on. There is working out here. Yeah, it's just going to be that good use of the IFVs and fire supports because, 5th Panzer doesn't get... I mean, VDV doesn't get a whole lot of anti-tank capability.
Yeah, I was going to say...
Like ground-based anti-tank.
You were saying about 5th Panzer doesn't get a whole lot of that, and I'm thinking to myself, I don't know, they seem to be doing all right to me. But we are actually seeing one of the rare airplanes coming out over here for the 5th Panzer. It's a Tornado coming out in. He's dropping away a lot of ordnance, unfortunately. Yikes.
No.
Spetsnaz. Yowza.
That's going to definitely solidify his position for just a little bit. But still, he doesn't have a whole lot to counterattack right now. His Panzer Grenadiers are very low in HP. And Lathans also does have the Hind backing him up.
I suppose here's the thing. The Roland itself, Shouldn't that be a nice counter to the Hind, or no?
You can get up close to blap it, but of course it's not ideal compared to using a flag Panzer just because of the difference between the ranges here.
Mm-hmm.
So you're easy also flanking about, and he has spotted the Roland.
Well, and that's kind of the important
100%.
thing, isn't it?
So he does know not to move up any farther. Mm-hmm.
True. Martyr down south, actually, with that Milan right there, he's holding down that road pretty well. Because Vedka, of course, swinging around, should be able to take him out with an RPG-22. In fact, I think he's going to be... No, he's getting a little bit closer. You know, actually, I really like the addition of, hey, here's a nice, easy way to figure out what your actual ranges are. I don't know. It's a small thing. It's a, you know, quality of life, but you gotta love it. Hind, in the meantime, engaging that Milan and does take it out there. But no, I mean, we have this Hind down below, just taking out that Martyr, and at the same time, he's a little bit low on rockets, though, so... What's this? Is it a... I guess, okay. We talk about helicopters overall. Once they lose those air-to-ground rockets, does that mean they are worthless, or how does that really kind of affect their long-term utility?
The rockets, I mean, do a lot of damage, of course, but you still have the guns as well. The Roland is getting pretty close, and that can blap him. It's really going to come down mainly here to the actual Spetsnaz. Yo, he's going to be pushing. That's going to be a bit deadly here. Yo, maybe not, maybe not. These are only Marauders, they only have machine guns. And if he does get into the forest, of course, Spetsnaz, as you know, are like some of the most deadly CQC infantry in game.
For the time being, yes, that's for sure. Now, unfortunately, the Roland is actually going to get a rocket off, and yikes, just barely misses.
Yeah.
It's going to get taken out, I think, almost by the 12-7? The 12-7 was...
Oh, he's got the ATGM as well.
Yeah, exactly. No, the Roland does not get taken out. In the meantime, has gone over here towards the Soviets, so the 5th Panzer really kind of, you know, not in a great position to start with, so...
No, it's VDV, especially in the opener, if you can catch your opponent with the pants down, with the advanced deployment, as you can see, it can really pay off dividends. I also like, if you look all the way up north and down south, Lathans does have some SPG UAZs doing some rear line work. He's going to run up to Leopard 3, which isn't going to be an ideal head-on engagement.
Well, it's kind of amusing to me that the Leopard skims a round off, kills it, and still that round, you know, careens down another 1,000 meters downfield. So that really kind of tells you that that SPG is not meant really for some strong armor opportunities.
No. Oh, the Hind up north, though, is getting stressed out here by the Gapard. Yeah, of course, it's going to take a little bit, and he does finally get shot down. There's still some Spetsnaz in the forest, but a lot of him did get blapped, I believe, from that tornado. So it's it's really not a whole lot of infantry left yet for Lathans, so T-Man should be able to counter-attack and regain the position.
So, I mean, the Spetsnaz, yeah, both those squads are rather weak, but at the same time, that tornado coming in, the only thing he really blew down was actually one of his own troops.
Mm-hmm.
It was a close air support mission that, unfortunately, was a little bit too close. In the meantime, I actually thought you talked about the Hind over here in the center part of the map. This guy's been kind of prowling around, keeping that German infantry at arm's length. You can see right now, the Rolands can't even get close enough because, like you said before, that Hind can just be, you know, just pick on him just a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. So...
Yeah, and Lathans, this is a pretty good defense. I mean, the Spetsnaz are definitely working out quite well for him. D-Man does have some pioneers moving through, but they're pretty much out of ammo. You need to get a supply truck up, which is what he's doing here before he moves up. And we're seeing up north in Echo, I think he's going to get a cheeky CV snipe here.
That's exactly what I was just going to call out to you over here when you had a second. But yeah, we have this SPG coming on in. He's going to see him. He's going to line up. And there we go. That's actually a brutal, brutal loss.
Yeah.
Not because he doesn't have command vehicles to spare. I'm sorry, please. Mm-hmm.
No, go ahead.
No, say not because he doesn't have command vehicles to spare, but just because that's a point. That's a +5. That's a lot of to be loosened over here as you try to, you know, hustle in more troops, secure that area, as well as really kind of lock that down one more time. That's a very, very big deficit to be worrying about now.
Indeed. And down south, we're all seeing that Leopard 3 get to the front line here. However, Lathans does have some T-64s in defense, and at close range, they can prove to be a threat to that Leopard. So I'm thinking for T-Man, I mean, he's kind of lost the center. He's really not going to get back in there. It's way too heavily defended. It seems like it's going to be an all-or-nothing bust, and Foxtrot and an Apache rocket is already leading the charge.
Well, the kind of almost sad thing here too is actually there's an SPG that's just kind of sitting on and just firing down on the back lines. Yowza, this. There we go. I mean, he snipes off a Russian command as well.
Yep. And he's going to run right into BMD range, though, and of course the MiG-29's not going to have none of that.
Yeah. A couple of flares get him out just in time from that surface to air. Another SPG down south. This guy's picked off 2 munitions vehicles, which doesn't sound like it really should do a whole lot, but that keeps those Pioneers out of resupply, which is a great thing for the time being.
Yeah, and that's again a lot of damage on that Laboratory 3. He's down to 3 hit points now, so it's going to have to rate a little bit for him to actually engage in the front line. But Lathans is just putting the pressure right on here, charging up, well, essentially the Descent Need Key infantry to descent on top of T-Man's position.
Yes, and even those BMDs can't do a whole lot. Those Descent Need Keys can certainly do a lot with those RPGs.
Yeah, and especially if that Laboratory 3 in such low HP, that's going to be a pretty easy pick-off.
It is. There we go. We see a death there. The SPGs up north have finally been cleaned up. Still is a +3, so we are going to see actually a rotating Unimog over here, S404, kind of getting back and help relock down that position. And I missed, where did that tornado drop rounds? Where did he go?
Down south. MiG-29's coming in to intercept, but do not manage to get the kill, because that tornado is a slippery bugger. This is not looking good here at all for T-Man. He's completely lost his southern position. I mean, once again, Spetsnaz coming in strong once you get them in close.
But that's the thing, isn't it? You're mentioning the fact that, we're gonna have another cheeky SPG. Wow, excuse me.
One of the letters in the alphabet.
Yeah, exactly. Only about another 20 or so to worry about. He's trying to get eyes on this other command vehicle in the central part of the map here. He actually might be able to do that, too.
Yeah, he is a little bit low on fuel, but nonetheless, he should be able to cause a bit of havoc in the rear, regardless.
I'm actually going to watch this cluster run, because this cluster run's going to cause such a cluster, heck. Unguided rock eyes, so still should be able to take out the T-64. I'm not sure if that's really the best use of munitions, but the T-64 being dead is still a nice and valuable piece of equipment gone.
Yeah, I mean, he only really has a bunch of martyrs here, so any tank he can knock out in this upcoming engagement, which seems like he's going to try to set up the martyrs and then the Panzer Grenadiers to push. Probably not going to go that route for him. This is a bit too much fire support here from Lathan's side.
Indeed, as BMDs that were getting taken off one by one. Those BMDs actually are quite good suppression vehicles. That's with that 20 mil cannons that they have on top of them.
Indeed.
But that T-64 even more so. Going to be engaged now by a couple of the Milans left on those martyrs. Excuse me, P1 martyrs rather. The Panzer Fausts. And how much health does he have left? Oh, he's a beefy boy still. He's going nowhere fast.
Yeah, we've seen this little counterattack here as well. The Spetsnaz trying to get in close. I mean, all those martyrs going down, you can pretty easily push up unless he gets clustered. That's only for the T-64, and that's. I mean, yeah, he did lose the T-64, but the infantry, the actual dudes holding the front line, it was a bit more important, I'd say, in the current engagement. No, maybe not. There's 2 Leopard 2s coming up.
Actually, I was more focused on the fact that the SPG picked up another cheeky command kill in the back. So we have
2
kills on these like really cheekiness in the back. I mean, brilliant, honestly. Like that's the kind of play you want to be using. Sneak in cheap vehicles, get a nice cheap kill, life goes on. So.
This is turned into a War Game Red Dragon match with the amount of CV snipes we're seeing.
Yeah, exactly. What was the whole thing with War Game Red Dragon? Was that if you lose your only command vehicle on the field, you lose the match originally? That's what it was, wasn't it? Yes,
because if you lose all your command vehicles, you lose the match.
Gotcha.
So pretty hardcore.
Yeah, thankfully not quite the same thing here. Now at this point, we imagine with the officers gone, we just have these masses of guys having at each other. So, it's nice. It's nice to see. It's nice to see those officers aren't really the most necessary thing on the field. Now, we are seeing these tornado runs have been pretty consistent. Not the most accurate, but at least they've been able to scare the Spetsnaz out into the open so that Milan Fuchs over here can actually engage him. Unfortunately, they don't seem to give a Fuchs about it because they just kind of go right over the hillside, and that's that.
Yeah, there's no point for the Spetsnaz to really try and engage. It's with RPO launches. They don't really do too much damage against vehicles that are rolling. Again, a bit too cocky. I think I must have been a misclick because he got sniped by the anti-tank gun. You've seen like a few Panzer Grenadiers and just infantry try to maneuver along the southern side of Charlie, but once again, Lathans just has a very good defensive line and even more T-64s.
Well, here's the other thing too. Those SPG setup, like anti-tank guns, may not have the best penetration, but they are there to kind of create roadblocks, and they do that very, very well. You see right now, for example, like the Leopard 2A3 down south, he's got 1 health left. Not because there's so much firepower there, but because of things like that SPG.
Yeah, just that slow chip array of damage can, well, do a lot of damage. Also, the RPG-29 from the Spetsnaz OP can prove to be quite good. And this is just very good play here from Lathans. Like with the Spetsnaz division, you don't... Oh, not Spetsnaz, VDV division. You don't exactly want to be engaged in open field engagements, but he's forcing all of these engagements CQC style. And now he's even going to do a bit of a T-64 flank here as well.
Which is kind of scary, because there's only that 1 Leopard that's really kind of hanging on in there. And that 1 scout group, and not for nothing, but Satchel Chargers didn't do anything in the last war, let alone this one. So, yeah, the 4 guys getting absolutely rocked here. Stunned, as I would be. Yes, sir?
The last attack of Apache rockets here, moving into Charlie. There's not a whole lot of anti-air once again. Oh, yeah, there's not a whole lot of anti-air. So he should be able to pick off quite a few guys here.
I don't know, the Hind still is in the area.
Oh, I completely forgot. It's good to have your anti-air be the aircraft. She knows how to hunt its own self.
Oof, the Alpha Jet comes in, takes out the 1 and gets obliterated. The Apache goes in as well. Howling a war cry, gets taken out in turn. But command snipe in the meantime too, so we see more command deaths over here. And I think that actually might be the last Apache.
Yeah, that's all 4 Apache rockets, so they've all been blapped. We're also seeing a seed plane being brought in. Don't really think that's really necessary currently. I mean, as we can see if I go to this, and there's nothing to really seed.
Yeah, but I can't help but wonder that for him, he's using it as an unmasking opportunity.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, maybe Roland engages him, so now he has a gun run with the 30mm cannons over here on the MiG-29, or like their nice cheeky kill for the MiG-29, picking up one of those scout helicopters. But, I don't know, it feels like the VDV took a nice early grab on this and just would not let go.
Yeah, it's just a very good early game aggression, really using that advanced deployment effectively, and also just forcing all the engagements to be in, well, very profitable engagements for the VDV. And I think the KD pretty much speaks volumes for that.
Exactly. And you can see like the MiG-29, for example, taking out 2 Apaches by himself. Even the T-64Bs, maybe not buying themselves back over here, but still doing well enough. Go to the 5th Panzer, yeah, the Apaches were the major killers.
Yeah. He just did not manage to get his tanks or, like, IFE infantry into a proper position to really leverage their firepower.
Unfortunately not. Unfortunately not. But that's a pretty open and shut kind of idea over here. Lathans definitely putting on a bit of a clinic, unfortunately, against the 5th Panzer. Any final thoughts, sir?
No.
Well, folks, in that case, then, we're going to call it quits on this replay here. Until next time, I'm Con Ulrich.
I'm Rangru. Take it easy.